Alright, what's up? You might be thinking that training to failure is the ultimate goal for achieving maximum stimulus in the gym, but not all types of failure are created equal, and understanding this is very important to get maximum gains. We know that the primary driver of muscle growth is mechanical tension. So, to maximize mechanical tension, we need to activate what is called the high threshold motor units in the muscle. And we can look at this through Henneman's size principle, which says that motor units are recruited in order of increasing size of their motor neurons as muscle force demand increases. So that's basically just a big brain way of saying that the high threshold motor units are recruited the most in the last 5 or so reps of the set when you're closest to failure. So those grindy, really difficult reps where you're just fighting for every inch of the movement. So the actual biggest mistake that a lot of people make is shying away from those difficult reps. What they do is once the reps start feeling difficult, either they'll tell their spotter to help them out, or they'll just do length and partials especially in shortened biased exercises like pull-ups, rows, etc. Instead of actually embracing those reps and trying to get as much range of motion as possible, they'll just cut it short. Partial reps don't really adequately activate those high threshold motor units because they're just not challenging enough. When you do a set of pull downs, and let's say after you have only 2 or 3 reps left in the tank, you just start doing partials, it's not gonna feel like a very hard set. Versus the next time when you go to the gym and you're doing a set of pull downs or rows, try to grind out each rep as much as possible. Even if you know you're not gonna get it, just try to pull back even if the weight is not budging, and then after that you can do assisted reps, and you'll immediately feel the set to be more intense after you're done with it. Another big mistake that I mentioned earlier is the spotter. Okay, a lot of guys, they think that more reps is equal to more gains, but that's not true. The quality of the reps matters way more. If the spotter is helping you in the last few reps, which are the reps that matter the most, you are definitely leaving gains on the table, and you're taking away from your stimulus for hypertrophy and maybe even some strength adaptations. Good spotting starts with good communication. So tell your spotter that you only need assistance when you absolutely can't move the weight or the weight starts moving in the opposite direction as intended. So let's say on a bench press, if you're grinding it out and the weight starts coming back down, that means you failed the rep. That's when the spotter should spot you. And if they're giving you assisted reps, then they should only give you as much assistance as needed, so as little as possible, and they need to let you control the negative. Now, even if your spotter does a bad job initially, don't crash out at them. Okay, a lot of spotters, they could be scared that you might get injured, so they tend to chip in a bit early, but don't crash out at them. Just communicate like a normal person. What is more important than our gains is being a good person. So doing assisted reps most of the time is not even worth it. I mean, I've seen people doing assisted reps on squats. That's just gonna generate way too much fatigue, and it's just not worth it. So if you're gonna do assisted reps, do them on isolations. So guys, always remember, if the weight is not slowing down, that means the set is not difficult enough and you're not close enough to failure. And a lot of people, they're also just really bad at gauging how close they are to failure. So that's why I would actually recommend, especially if you're relatively newer to the gym, to just push hard until you get stapled by the weight or until you can't move the weight anymore. And this especially applies to presses, because on things like presses we tend to rack the weight a little bit early because we're scared of getting stapled. But obviously have a spotter around, have safety pins, and just push yourself as hard as you can. Even if you don't think you're gonna get the next step, go for it anyway, and sometimes you're actually able to get it. It's all in the head a lot of the times. And try to go for full range of motion. Even if you don't think you're gonna get it, just try it anyway, because doing half reps early on, that's just not gonna maximize mechanical tension. If you absolutely know you're not gonna get another rep, then doing partials is fine, but you need to learn how to gauge that point first. Right, so that's pretty much it for this video. Let me know in the comments which was the worst spotter experience of all time. And if you like this video, like it and share it with the person who needs it. See you next time.